Minasan, konnichiwa. Welcome back to my channel, not video. Wherever you are in the galaxy, I hope you enjoy your stay on my channel. Anyway, about 8 days ago, I shifted to *Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but I haven't made a video about this yet because of all that's been going around. So I decided I should wait a little longer. I don't think that was really a good idea because I had to really refresh my memory and recall all the little details that I saw when I did shift. So I have a notebook with me right now. Ow! And I did write all the details in it, so I did go over that just to refresh my memory so I wouldn't leave anything out. Anyway, on to the video. 8 days ago, I shifted to *Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Exactly the same way that I shifted in The Promised Neverland. If you want, you can also watch the other video up here. So, I fell asleep after physics class. After or before? It was either after or before physics class. So, that happened last time too. I don't know why. I always fall asleep around that time, which is like 11 to 12-ish. Or around 10 to 11, around that time frame, if you want reference. Anyway, so the first thing I remember was falling asleep, and then I remember during that time I was a bit awake. Like, I wanted to wake up because I remembered that I had school, but then I fell back asleep. So in that time, I knew that I wanted to shift. Since for months, I don't know how long now, but I did go over it in another video. I've been shifting for a while, or at least going through the motions of it, you know, the routine of shifting for a few months. So now it's solidified in my brain. So even if I'm not exactly thinking about wanting to shift there consciously, unconsciously, my body knows that I want to go to wherever I'm planning to shift in that moment. This time, I plan to shift to *Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which has been it was the first one that I wanted to shift to besides Hogwarts. I only chose Hogwarts because everyone else was going to Hogwarts, so I was like, okay, might as well go there. But then I didn't go there, so I decided that I wanted to go to *Star Wars: The Clone Wars instead. I actually made this DR, like, as in, not made it because it already exists, but I scripted it long time ago. I think back in May-ish? Not May. I don't think it was that long. Sometime over the summer, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. So long ago. But it was one of the first places that I did script. Anyway. So, when I fell asleep, for, like, when I was asleep, but also not really asleep, kind of like in a limbo between those two, I began feeling a kind of burning sensation in my chest. And I don't know why, but in that moment, for some reason, my mind immediately thought, okay, let's shift. So then I remember I did say a few affirmations, and then after that I began falling asleep again. So I'm not really sure how that, it was kind of like a sleep method, but not really a sleep method, because it's not really a method to begin with. But anyway, I said a few affirmations, and then all of a sudden I blanked out completely. And then I woke up in this brightly lit room. The first thing I remember was this burning sensation in my chest and my head, and then next thing you know, I opened my eyes and the whole room is like so bright that I can't even see who's standing in front of me. And just so you know, that is not a warm welcome at all. And I think that really does, not really exaggerate, it really explains the feeling of Camino. So in my DR script, I scripted that I would wake up in my room on Camino. At first, when I shifted back to my current reality, I thought that I shifted to the med bay because of how bright it was, but then when I really think about it, it was my room. Because if it were the med bay, then I would see some kind of medical tool or whatever, but I did not. So it was my room that I shifted to, just as I scripted. And the funny thing is that I didn't go over my script before I shifted today, or not today, but like that day. I just knew unconsciously that I wanted to shift to my room. So if you're wondering, you do not need to read over your script thousands of times or memorize it because it's already solidified in your brain. Back to the story. So when I did wake up, there's the bright light, right? The first thing that I really remember was the burning in my chest and the burning in my head, and let me say that's not pleasant at all. I have no idea what happened to me before, like, I shifted there. So I'm assuming that I got shot or something because I'm a Jedi, right? And I'm part of a special ops squad kind of thing, like, something along those lines. I'm like one of the quote unquote elite, so they send me on special missions. So I am assuming that on one of those missions I got hurt. It was so intense. That's the only thing that I can really describe this as, because when I woke up, right, that feeling of just that, oh my gosh, I don't know. It didn't really hurt, but it hurt enough to make you, like, not want to move. And I remember Fives was standing in front of me by the side of my bed, which, I don't know, for a few seconds, it was so bright that I just couldn't tell what was going on. And I had to blink a few times, and I wanted to sit up because, like, when you shift, especially to a DR you've never been to yet, it's really scary because you don't know where you are, because, like, one moment you're in your room, in your current reality, and then the next you're in your DR in a place that you've never really been to, or rather, never really experienced. So for me, that was like, oh my god, where am I? This is incredibly scary. But then the moment I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, so this is not where I thought I was. Because, I thought I was in my room. Then all of a sudden, he was there, and I was like, okay, I shifted, right? The thing is with shifting, though, is that you don't realize you're shifting until you see something that you script. So when I saw my room, I was like, oh, wait, I shifted. It's not like when I saw Fives or anything, or that burning feeling in my chest that I knew I shifted. It was just I saw something that reminded me of my script. And then from that moment, I was like, okay, that's shifting. Next thing, I tried sitting up, and Fives was like telling me, calm down, because I was panicking. Because, like I said, I was terrified. Like, that bright light, oh my gosh. Kamino is so unwelcoming because it's sterile, it's white, it just smells like clean, but too clean. You know what I mean? It's like when you walk into a hospital and it's like dead, silent, it's nighttime, all that stuff, and you don't see anyone there. That's what it felt like to wake up on Kamino. Even though it's my room, it's still a part of Kamino, so it still has that aura. You know what I mean? As in that aura of the sterile, clean, the kind of unfriendly, I don't want you around me feel. But then, for that reason, I kind of went into kind of fight and flight. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get up, I have to go, right? And then Fives, he was telling me, sit down, right? Calm down, don't worry, you're safe. And I was like, what is he talking about, right? But then, I don't know, the pain got intense the more I tried to sit up. So I just kept blinking and staring at him as he kept telling me to calm down. And I don't know. I don't really know why he was the first one I woke up to, but, like, I'm not complaining. In my DR, we're best friends, right? Besties. I write letters to him all the time. I don't know why. He's one of my first picks, even though he's not really, like, the best at advice, but he does know what to say sometimes. He's a really nice guy. Very nice. But, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know why I keep saying I don't know, because I do know, because I was there. But it's like, how do you explain it? It's just, he was trying to be gentle, but, like, at the same time, he was panicking himself because I was panicking. Because, I'm a Jedi, right, in my DR. So it's kind of like, if a Jedi is panicking, then should I stay calm or should I be worried? Because, Jedi are usually rather calm, cool. You don't really see Jedi panicking. So I think for him, seeing me wake up like that was kind of scary for him too, because I really wanted to shout something, but I don't know. I was just so terrified that I just wanted to bolt out of the room. So the whole time he was just there telling me, calm down, you're safe. But then the pain started intensifying, so then I just remember laying back down, like, flat, just flopping down. And then everything went black. After that, for a while, it was just black. And then I shifted back to my current reality. So it's kind of, the whole thing was kind of it was so scary, for me at least. It wasn't, like, scary, but it was just so out of the blue that you just don't know how to react. So for me, it was like, oh my god, okay, so Fives was there helping me, but like the pain hurt a lot, you know? It was just, I don't know why I was in so much pain though. And for me to experience something like that, it was incredibly terrifying in its own right, because it's not every day that you get so badly hurt that you can barely move. You know what I mean? Anyway, another part that I do remember him doing, he was trying to calm me down, like, frantically. He was panicking himself, so it was kind of funny when I think about it now. But I don't think he thought it was funny. He definitely did not think it was funny, obviously. But, like, he was trying to calm me down as best as he could. And for some reason, I don't know why, but he wanted to hold my hand, but, like, he didn't. So instead, he just kind of rubbed my foot. Like, not in a weird way, but, like, you know how children, when they're scared or something, you just, you give them, like, a comforting hand rub or something like that. It sounds so weird. Out of context, this sounds so wrong. I don't mean it in any weird way, but he was doing it to comfort me as best as he could, because something I did seem to notice is that clones do like physical contact for perhaps good reason, and in that moment he was trying to offer comfort as best as he could, so I believe that was what he wanted to do. I mean, it did help, because it helped to ground me, and it reminded me that, okay, I'm not alone in this room that's so bright that I can barely see. And, the whole ordeal was just, when you shift, don't get too scared, though, because for the most part, it's likely that you're not alone. So if anything crazy does happen, just remember that your friends and your family or your significant other or soulmates, they're all there to help you in any way that they can. In that moment, I don't know. I was just so grateful that I wasn't alone in my room by myself, because I think that if I were alone, I would freak out way more than I was, even though Fives was there. But I don't know. I can't wait to shift back and ask him about that, because that's just like, he would not find this funny in the least. He would not. I find it funny because the whole time he was panicking like crazy. So, oh my gosh. The only thing I remember is him just saying, calm down, it's okay, you're safe. That's all I remember him saying. And then besides that, there was that pain. The bright lights on Camino are crazy. Just so you know, I don't recommend going to Camino for a sightseeing trip or vacation, holiday, whatever you'd call it. It's so unfriendly there. I was only there for probably a good 3-ish minutes on Camino, panicking as Fives just like, freaked out the whole time. But that was just crazy for me, at least. It was just a bit terrifying in its own way. But it's not like anything that I'm sure any of you can't handle, so it's not like anyone was chasing me or anything, so it was fine. But anyway, how did I shift? I used that quote-unquote no method. Don't ask why I have a shoelace. Actually, I'll tell you anyway. I use this to wrap up cords, so they're very helpful if you do have any random shoelaces lying around. Anyway, I use that no method unconsciously, because for me, I've been practicing the whole routine of shifting for how many months? More than half a year probably at this point. I'm not sure. I'm not counting. But when you solidify it so much in your brain, it just becomes a natural reaction. So in your heart, you'll know that you want to shift. So then you won't have to worry about saying, I want to shift, unless you want to say affirmations to, solidify it more and announce it that you will shift to wherever you want to go. So don't worry too much about the whole method thing and the whole you have to have a routine, because that's not true. You don't need a routine. You don't need anything. For me, that just happened out of the blue. That's why I was so terrified, because I didn't plan to shift in the first place. I just planned to take a nap. That's all I wanted, because I was so tired that day. So I was like, okay, fine. Geometry's over. I'm going to take a nap. So that's what I did. But then I started thinking about school, and, that woke me up a bit. And then I began falling back asleep. So then that put me in the mindset of, okay, you're shifting again, because that's exactly how I shifted last time. My only issue with this is that whenever I do shift, I end up falling asleep in my DR, and then that makes me shift back here because then I run out of time because I don't I didn't script how long time passes in my DR opposed to in my CR, so I'm assuming that it goes slower almost. I'm not sure why, but I think that's mostly because when I shift back here, I just fall asleep again, and then I just end up dreaming. So that's what happens, for me at least. It might be different for you, or your neighbor next door, or your friend on the internet who you've never met in real life. Anyway, that's just what happened to me. And just so you know, shifting is not scary itself. It's just the experience when you're like plopped into somewhere completely random, and you just end up getting a bit frightened because you've never been there. Because for obvious reasons, a lot of things on the first try, or a lot of things we do for the first time, they're a bit scary because you don't know what to expect. And for me, that's what happened. I didn't know what to expect because I got a bit startled by all that was happening. I was just, crazy, you know? I don't know. Next time, if I shift again, I'll be sure to film it right after I do shift so I can tell you it with more emotion, because obviously I sound more disconnected because this happened almost a week ago, so I'm telling it more as a story rather than, oh my gosh, this is my experience and everything that I felt in that moment. That's why I find it a bit funny now that I think about it, because I'm talking about it like I'm telling a story. Because, you know, when you tell stories, that happens a lot, you know. You look back at it and you're like, oh, that's funny. Okay, anyway, this is kind of long. I keep rambling because I don't know why. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this motivates you to continue going and create your own journey. Don't always listen to the guidelines. Don't listen to don't listen to the people who say you have to do it like this, this, and this, because for obvious reasons, that's not true. It's your journey. Do whatever you want. Shift whenever you want. Doesn't matter the time or the place. It's all you. You decide when you want to shift. Until next time, mata ne!